Okay, so last week we talked about choosing a CPE site. And this week I want to talk to you about mastering your CPE interview. Like I said in the previous video, some sites aren't competitive at all, but there are a few that are, and you want to make sure that you're able to ace that interview to get your choice site to work at. Here's the biggest tip I can give you. You have to be willing to be vulnerable, okay? One of the biggest things that CPE educators are looking for is your ability to be self-reflective, okay? And so you have to be able to show that you can look at yourself and see areas where you're strong and also areas where you need to work at. And specifically those areas that might impede or be a slight obstruction to you doing effective ministry. Because CPE is all about growing your ministerial skill set. And so you want to think about what are some of those areas. I'll give you an example in the spirit of transparency. So when I grew up, my dad and I were not close. We were close when I was younger, but when I hit my teen years, that relationship started to fracture. And I know a part of that was my dad is the type of guy who believes that men are put on earth to provide, right? So as long as he was taking care of his wife, my mother, and his 6 children, he would do that sometimes by working 2 or 3 jobs, okay, because he was blue collar. And he felt like that's with being a good dad, right? But we all know that we need our parents emotionally. And what I have found is that because of that, I don't want to say rupture, but that space that me and my dad have, it's difficult for me to minister to men in a hospital setting who remind me of him, or they appear not to be able to access their emotions easily. That is something that is alive in me that I've had to learn to work towards, because that's what CPE is all about, is how do I increase my pastoral skill set? How do I increase my ministerial presence? And so being aware that when men aren't able to access their emotions, that triggers me, for lack of a better term, and reminds me of my father. And it might cause me to pull away from that patient when I really need to be leaning into them to be a support in that moment. It helps me to center myself in that moment, reframe my thoughts, all the things I need to do so that I can be present with that patient. So I want you to think about this today. Like, what things in your background, whether culturally or socially, that may impede you from doing ministry, and how you are working towards growing in that area. Taking the time to do that before you have your first interview will make you stand out amongst so many other applicants, because you've actually taken the time to think through that. And it will show that you are self-reflective, you set a goal for growth, and you're vulnerable. All right. So until next time, thanks for stopping by. I should call these like chats with the chaplain, or chaplain chats, something like that. But I'm trying to keep these short and powerful. Remember to like, subscribe, share, so that you don't miss when I'm going to be live next. And if there's some question that you have, drop it in the box, because remember, I spent hours looking for the answers to the questions that I'm giving you. So I'm an open book. All right, my loves, until next time, grace and peace.